I'll turn the slate over to you, Jackie. Jackie, you're still muted.
All right, I got to get back.
There we go. I just unmuted you. You're good.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm going to share a document and I'm going to talk you through it. And, you know, it's a lot of words, but what I wanted to do is any of you who want a copy of this, I will just tell me at the end of the program and I will send it to you because it's a work in progress. I realized, for instance, that Megan, your organization isn't on here. I don't know about Portland Made. And what I'm trying to do is be kind of a center of resources for small businesses because, you know, we've had 3 huge things buffet all of us little businesses this year. You know, COVID for sure. And then just outside of Portland and downstate a little bit, the fires, you know, they've been absolutely devastating in many places. And then, of course, we've got the Black Lives Matter and all the protests going on. So, you know, it's just a tremendous amount of things that are having huge effect on our small businesses and their success. And, you know, what I've seen is that there are lots of people stepping forward, trying to provide resources and do things and offer ways for our small businesses to survive. I don't know if they can thrive yet, but they can survive. And I'm trying to gather resources and just share this with everyone that I can. So Megan, I'm going to be getting hold of you after this meeting to make sure that Portland Made gets on here, okay? And I want to start out by telling you that entrepreneurship is alive and well. You know, my own particular little business is kind of gasping for fumes, you know, better, smarter, richer, private counseling. But the work that I am doing through the Small Business Development Center is very healthy. And I mean, just very healthy. And one of the things I do for the Small Business Development Center is that I teach a program called the Business Design Series. And in the Business Design Series, I get all the newbies. I love the newbies. And these are people who have an idea and they're trying to figure out if they can turn that idea into a business. A lot of them have never owned a business before, and they're just very interested in, you know, what's happening and how to get going. And that class runs almost continuously. We teach it, there's 4 sections or 4 sessions, and they teach once a week. Like right now, the program is on Monday nights from 6 to 8 o'clock. Last month it was on Tuesday nights. In January, it'll be back to being on Tuesday nights. And we have run it without stop because we constantly have people that are interested in pursuing an entrepreneurial idea. So I'm going to tell you their entrepreneurship is just absolutely alive and well, and people are extremely interested in starting a business. And we're, I don't know what to do with this stupid thing. We're trying to help them make that happen. So if you want to know, well, first of all, so I want to tell you that the SBDC is operating on Zoom. We went to Zoom in March and put all of our classes on Zoom in March. And I have no idea when PCC is going to open. It probably isn't going to be until spring term, but we're discussing whether or not we will ever go back, you know, to be into the classroom as opposed to being on Zoom. There's some wonderful things about Zoom, even if Nancy can't find her way in tonight. But, you know, overall, there's some wonderful things. One is that it allows us to take our classes out to kind of remote areas that we don't normally talk to. You know, so we're getting students from Tillamook and Forest Grove and from, you know, some places up in Washington and several people out of state. And, you know, that's just terrific. So I'm going to say one of the things that you could do, because the whole SBDC program has said we are going to see ourselves as a center and a place of resources and information, would be to sign up for the newsletter. So I gave you the link here, this climbpcc.edu newsletter. And just in case you don't remember, the SBDCs are a national organization. There's 1,100 SBDCs in the country. There's 19 of them here in Oregon. We're at every community college. And we have a mission to help small businesses grow and thrive and start and, you know, do well. And we carry that mission out with classes for which we charge and one-on-one advising for which we never charge. There is no fee for our advising. And no matter how long somebody stays or hangs around or comes back, there is never a fee for advising through the SBDC.
I've been going to the SBDC for 15 years now.
Oh, bless you.
The Clackamas one.
Oh, aren't they wonderful?
I'm telling them I'm a new student. I'm learning again for the first time every year.
Yeah. And you know, it's the same way. We never say to somebody, oh, you were in our classes in 2002, you can't come now. We never say that. I've been at the Portland Community College SBDC part-time for 20 years. And, you know, I would say we are reaching out more now than we ever have, ever, you know, and it's really nice. And our classes focus mostly on the smaller businesses, but, you know, we do get people for expanding businesses. And we've got a few things that you may not know about, but you're welcome to tune into them if you have, you know, the need or you know someone who has the need, and you do not have to be a paying client of the SBDC to do it. One of the big things is we have a group of specialized advisors called our Capital Access Team, CAT. And this is 4 guys, most of whom are retired bankers. And they have come and put together an approach to lending, which is very successful. They will help you put together a business plan and a financial or loan application, and they'll help you work through it and work through it and work through it until they say, okay, you're ready for market. And then what they do is they maintain relationships with about 200 lenders of all varieties, you know, from government lenders to banks to private equity to all kinds of things that you might not think of. And they look at what how much you want to borrow and what your you know, application will support. And they say, we think these 2, 3, or 4 lenders would be interested in you. And then they pick up the phone and they call the lender and they say, we have a client for you that we're sending over. And over the years, the quality of the clients that the CAT team has been sending has resonated with the lenders. And so we've got a success rate of 70%. 70% of the people who apply through the Capital Access Team process get funded, okay, which is pretty fantastic. And, you know, a group of them, you know, these Capital Access Team people came together and learned all the stuff about the PPP loans and the EIDL loans. If you remember back in March when the beginning funding, you know, from the CARES Act was coming through. And right away, they helped people get $6.5 million worth of funding. You could call them up and they say, I don't know what to do with this application. I don't know what to do, how to apply for this. And they stepped in and helped. And right now they're helping people who are applying for forgiveness of the PPP, you know, which is a big deal. We had a call the other day from a woman out in St. Helens, who said, I had a salon, 14 employees. I got the PPP loan. I spent it on, payroll, but with COVID, people are afraid to come to work and they're afraid to come in and have their hair done. And she said, so now I'm back to 5 employees and I got an EIDL loan. And the PPP is a grant forgivable and the EIDL is a loan. And she said, the SBA says to me, she got $150,000 and she hasn't spent it. She says, I'm afraid to spend it because the SBA has said, when you convert this into a loan, you'll have to make a $700 a month loan payment. And she said, I can't afford that. So anyway, she went into counseling with the CAT team, and they said, we can help you out with this, and are talking to her and helping her manage that money. So they are fabulous. The other thing that we offer that people don't know is that we have a research arm in conjunction with Southern Oregon University. So if somebody comes in and says, I think that this would be a good idea and it could work well in this marketplace, we say, how would you like to do a little basic research on this? And we have a pretty extensive, form that they fill out, and they send it down to Southern Oregon University research team, who comes back and says, okay, here's the questions we're going to go after. And if you agree with them, then they go in and they do, primary research, and they work through that research with you and tell you what they have found out and, where and their suggestions for what you might do. Again, this is at no cost to the client, no cost. So I keep saying, if you don't do anything else, sign up for the SBDC newsletter. Because of the people that are in our network at this point, we're a network that is managed out of Lane Community College. That's where the center of the Oregon SBDC is. And they have pulled us all together into an electronic network. It's really wonderful what they're doing and, making happen. So let's see, how can you guys probably know how to do this. I'm not sure how to get the paper to come down here. Do you know how to do this? Anybody? Okay, so another thing I would suggest that you do is that you line up and sign up for what is going on with Prosper Portland. Prosper Portland used to be the Portland Development Commission, okay? I always thought they were kind of snotty to small business as the Portland Development Commission. But they have drunk the Kool-Aid with the rest of us, and they've really gotten a handle on how important small businesses are to our community. And not only small businesses, but minority owned and, tiny little businesses in, kind of small areas. And they have put together a whole series of programs and loans, and they've gone out into the market or into the community, and they've gotten money put together and have offered a variety of programs that have been funded by some of the bigger businesses in Portland. And what you can find in their newsletter is information about what programs are available. And I tell people that I have been, counseling businesses now for almost 40 years. And I have never seen as many programs available to help small businesses be successful as are available right now, okay? And I think it's terrific. And we are the tiniest of the tiny businesses in Portland, us, our home-based businesses, but that doesn't mean we can't participate. And Prosper Portland, kind of along with what Megan's doing, is announced a program called Love Portland Shop Local, okay? And there's another one, and Megan, I'm gonna put your Portland aid into here. There's another one for shopping for Christmas called the Portland Pledge. And this is a group started by Sarah Schowell, who's a retail coach. And it's called PDX SOS. And you go on this website and there's a pledge that you are going to shop local with your Christmas shopping. I mean, they really are trying to make this work. And, you know, again, I'd sign up for the Prosper Portland newsletter. They tell you when they have new grants. They tell you when they've got federal money has come through, you know, the city is going to be able to manage, or state money has come through that the city might be able to manage. And, you know, maybe you qualify for some of it. It's truly amazing. Okay. I do a newsletter. Okay. My Better, Smarter, Richer company. And again, if you'd like to sign up, I try to stay current, which is why I'm handing this out. And my newsletter goes out on Constant Contact every time I learn of a new program, because I feel like people are not on all these other newsletters. They're not going to Prosper Portland, or they're not going to the SBDC. Maybe they're on my newsletter, okay? And so as soon as I hear from one, like through the SBDC or through Prosper Portland, I bring it forward and I send it out on my Better, Smarter, Richer newsletter. I've got, you know, 1,500 people on it, and it's great. You know, I maybe meet some people that other people don't, you know, tune into. So like yesterday, the governor freed up $55 million in the CARES funding, which is going to be distributed through the counties. Okay. And, you know, the money is going to go like wildfire. And, you know, you can get the link on my Better, Smarter, Richer newsletter. You can go to Prosper Portland and see it, but it's being distributed through the counties. And the counties have found that the way to get things out to people is to go through the organizations that work with our tiniest businesses, are our micro enterprise organizations, like MISO is one of them. And but the applications are there. And, you know, I just keep saying, tune into this. Another URL that I'm looking at all the time is BizCenterCat/COVID-19. And our capital access team started right at the beginning of the COVID shutdown with putting together a website that separates all these different programs that are available for funding into national, statewide, and local. And they're not all COVID funding. They're also fire funding, you know, that has come that way. And then a lot of the Black Lives Matter funding that has come through. And bizcentercat.org and COVID-19 has all of them listed. And when you go to that website, they tell you at the top when they made their last entry, okay? And then what I do, because I'm looking for my clients all the time to let them know something is available to them, I go down to the bottom and see what's there. And for instance, locally, there are things, City of Troutdale, City of Forest Grove, City of Hillsborough, City of Milwaukee. I'm out in Milwaukee. You know, all the little cities that have stepped up and put forward some grants, not loans, but grants, you know, for little businesses to pay operating expenses and hang on, you know, while we're waiting for our businesses to get better again. And it's really worth looking. You have no idea what might be out there for you, okay? So in addition to that, I have some other ones I think are really good. Greater Portland Inc. is just focused on the entire region. And early on, before Prosper Portland and the CAT team got their act together as well as they do now, the best place to find information was Greater Portland Inc. And, you know, I really like them a lot. And as an organization, they're focused a lot on us as a Center for International Trade. So if there's something that you're going to do that could be global or global trade, and it's so easy to do, to find yourself selling into Canada or selling into Mexico, check out what Greater Portland Inc. is doing, okay? I also like that they are working very closely with the Meyer Memorial Trust, which is very focused on working to support Black businesses. There's been a lot of discussion about our Black businesses, or as so many of them now are being called BIPOC. Have you run into that term, which is, Black, Indigenous? We're finally apologizing to the Indigenous populations, at least on things that I'm hearing, and people of color. And we're finally say, okay, we hear it, and there's enough discussion going on. I heard Henry Louis Gates the other night. Do you know him from, what does he do? Finding Your Roots. He's the Harvard professor that has got an expertise in Reconstruction. And anyway, he made some fantastic statements, one of which was that xenophobia rises hand in hand with economic disparity. And if you keep reading the things about what happens to COVID in our Black populations, or income in our Black populations, or other health needs in our Black populations, you think, no wonder there's this unrest. Well, I love it that many of these organizations are really moving in a way to try to focus on helping our Black businesses. So let me name a couple of those. One in particular, we have a pretty new Black American Chamber in town, and they are developing some programs to support Black and minority businesses and business owners. And one of the ways that they're doing that is that they have a series of business advisors. And I have talked to their chair, and I have a meeting with him next week, I think it is, actually the 1st of December. His name is Jesse Hyatt. And I want to say, Jesse, I teach entrepreneurship. I never see a Black student. And what can I do in the SBDC to attract Black entrepreneurs and work with them, because that's something I would like to do. And I'm kind of making a pledge to say, there's a group called I Can Do More. And I'm saying I can do more if I can teach entrepreneurship, because that's what I do, to people who are starting businesses, okay? Certainly want to stay tuned also, which is Venture Portland, and we know about that. Portland means business. They've got some issues that they're having their action plan. Nancy, I know you must be well aware of this. Living wages of at least $15 an hour, of creating work experiences for youth, do intentional purchasing from minority businesses. Don't just stand around, do intentional purchasing. And see if you can bring young people into your businesses and train them. They're also behind the Mercatus directory of Black-owned businesses. It's a beautiful, beautiful publication. And I had no idea there were that many Black businesses or who they were. And I'm saying, okay, well, I've got money to spend. Maybe I can spend some money there, okay? There's another one. I'm not sure how to move this down. There's a third page. Does anybody know how to get to the
There's on the right-hand side, Jackie, there's a scroll bar.
Yeah.
Move your mouse over. No, move your mouse over further.
Okay.
That changes the size.
Yeah.
Move your mouse up for the right. No, take.
Oh, I see. I see where I am. Thank you. Oh, bless you. Thank you. It's the little things I don't know. I mean, world peace I can do. It's the little things on my computer I can't do. So I'm telling you, other places you can pay attention. Meyer Memorial Trust, they are very active. It's a foundation that was created at the death of Fred Meyer, okay? So it has huge local roots. And if you go to their website, you can see they're very active in programs focused on equity. And I think how wonderful for us. You know, they're speaking to the schools, they're speaking to businesses. I love that. Okay. And pay attention to what Business Oregon is doing. They've just listed an entirely new list of grants that they're doing out of the state. I've been watching this one coming down here this week, the Oregon Business Plan, which used to be kind of invitation only and in person, went online this year. They've had like 2.5-hour sessions and have had great people talking. They had, what is his name? Robert Alexander, who used to be the head of the CEO of the Urban League, talking yesterday. And he said, he talked about all the things we're going to have to do, you know, and we're going to have to, it's going to be a rocky road, and there are things we need to do. And I mean, he was a great speaker. Anyway, here's some other things that I try to follow. The Oregon Business Plan is one. I mean, they still have some sessions left. You know, they don't lock you out of it. They just ask you to sign in. I found ProPublica. I don't know if you guys read ProPublica. It comes in on my, you know, their thing that they're talking about at the moment, whatever it is. They're the ones, I found them because, you know, I worry about ageism in businesses. You know, that's one of the topics I've worried about a lot. And I found them when they were writing about IBM letting go 24,000 systems engineers who were over the age of 45. I mean, it was total discrimination. And, you know, they never really got called on the carpet for it. And what they said when they were questioned was, well, these are the older guys, and in order for our company to be competitive, we've got to get to the younger systems engineer who have new ideas. Now, what a bunch of hogwash is that? So anyway, I said, I'm going to find out what else ProPublica is doing. And this article they wrote was about the coronavirus bailouts, which is quite interesting. Also, you know, the big companies that got the money instead of the little companies getting the money. So I'm going to tell you some more that I've just added here because I'm doing this list. There's some really interesting people who have come together. A lot of our county leaders and city council leaders and institutional leaders have come together under a organization called Reimagine Oregon. And there's their website. And you know, if you're discouraged with, well, how many nights have we had protests downtown under Black Lives Matter? Go look at what Reimagine Oregon is talking about. They've got about 20 different initiatives that they've listed. And I thought the ones for economic development and, you know, entrepreneurship were kind of weak because they're talking about, you know, well, we're going to support this. So I'm trying to get hold of them and say, what if we develop some ways to teach entrepreneurship? Because, you know, that's what I've done my whole life. And I think that as part of that, we could bring forward some more, you know, BIPOC, brown, indigenous, people of color entrepreneurs who can begin to tip the scale a little bit more in their direction of fairness and equity and, you know, economic well-being in our state. Built Oregon is a new to me organization. I don't think they're particularly new, but they are focusing on the state and on people throughout the state who are building any kind of a consumer product. And they have put together a fabulous website, and they are doing some markets this year, even though they are going to be online markets and be focusing on products that are from these little companies throughout the state of Oregon you've never heard. So I got online, I bought a great pair of earrings. Here's that site I told you about, www.iwilldomore, where it's asking you to make a pledge that you are going to do some more things than maybe you've done in the past. And I think this is a good time to do that. Take a look at it, see what you think. Then I found a group called the Nile. I think this is a national group. And the Nile list is Black entrepreneurs selling retail products again. Okay. And then we've got the portfolio that's coming from the Business Resource Network from Prosper Portland. So I'm giving you a bunch of links. I mean, you can't say I don't know where to go. And last but not least, my colleague at the SBDC, her name is Kim Allchurch Flick, is one of the founders of LinkedIn Local PDX. And what happened is there are about 800 LinkedIn locals now across the world. And I think it was somebody in Australia that said, gee, this is great to be LinkedIn, but I'd like to be LinkedIn to the people in my own area. And so people kind of, they rose up, you know, these local organizations of people who are on LinkedIn, and they get together in person once a month and talk about their businesses. And what Kim and a man named Bill Cohen have done with LinkedIn Local is that they have brought minority business owners to come to the LinkedIn Local monthly forums and talk about their businesses, not talk about equity or, you know, being a minority, but talk about their businesses so that we can get to know them from a business to business standpoint. So anyway, as I said, Megan, I just heard of Portland Made, and you belong on this list. And I'm going to add you because I share it with people all the time. And I'm just thrilled anytime a new organization comes along to help our Portland small businesses. So anybody have anything to add here? Are they thinking, oh my God, is she done talking yet?
Do you have the business loans? I know I'm in the I'm not in Oregon City, but I know Oregon City has a bunch of loan or grants that are coming out this week, that are due this week, next week.
You know, I'd go look at that that very first thing, you know, that I showed you up there on page 2. This one, bizcentercat.org COVID-19. Because if they have publicized them, Sheldon, then the CAT team has probably listed them. Okay. And if we haven't, I hope that you will email me and I will get them to the CAT team to know about. I think the little communities have been absolutely fabulous at stepping forward. As I say, I've seen ones from Hillsborough, Forest Grove, Cornelius, you know, I mean, you think, oh my, Troutdale. And, you know, they've just got to be scraping everybody they can come up with to get us some money for their businesses. And isn't it about time, you know, that we got the small business support like that? Anybody else? It says, Sheldon, you raised your hand. Anything else?
No, well, I was trying to get in the chat. I've just put my email, you know, I would like you to email me that list. There's lots of good stuff in there.
I'm going to mail it to anybody who wants it. Actually, I can send it to I have the members list, you know, on the AHB website. Do you have emails on those?
I'm sure I do. I think so.
Yeah, okay. Because I think everybody ought to have this kind of hung up and be using it.
Yeah, very helpful.
Jackie, this is Mark. If we could figure out some way of putting a link, putting this up in more of a web appropriate format. We could get that on the AHB website. This would be great. This is really one of the things we're looking to do, is to provide more value to people coming to our website and being members. So this is fabulous. Exactly what we've been looking for as a board to include in our portfolio of benefits, I guess you'd say.
Well, you know, I'm just convinced, of course, you know, I just love little businesses. And I'm convinced that any way we come together, if we reach out and bring our fellow little businesses in,
Yeah.
you know, it does nothing but make us all stronger. And I personally, I love the, you know, the pledge that you're going to do your shopping locally. You know, I'm going to shop locally for Christmas. I'm going to do this for Christmas. And, you know, maybe we can all survive through this.
Well, if
Survival is good.
yeah, this is really great. We have you down as the current presenter on the front page. If you and I and Becky could get together and work something, we could replace that with this information till the end of the year.
Great.
That would be great. And then we can switch over to our January presenter. But we're not going to have a meeting in December just because everything's going on. And we usually just have a roundtable anyway. So if you and I can get together and we'll give something to Becky to put on the website, will be on the front page. And that would also.
Wonderful. Megan, send me your information ASAP. We'll get it on here. I love hearing what you're doing.
Wonderful. Yeah, I dropped my information in the group chat. So it's megan@portlandmade.com.
Okay. All right. I love it. And I love that we do these things with grassroots. You know, we don't, you know, I think the most wonderful thing about Americans is actually we don't wait for the government to do stuff. we just go do it. And
Well, most of us don't.
And particularly in Oregon, we go do it. You know, we just go do it. You know, we go look around and say, what's your problem? Let's take this on. Let's do it.
Yeah, Jackie, that brings up a question. Do you know any statistics about how many self-employed people, I don't know if that's a statistic, there are in Portland or in Oregon?
You know, I have a kind of a loose number, and I'll tell you where it came from. I did some research on how many businesses hire employees. And I found a white paper that had been done by the Small Business Development Center in Washington, D.C. And this was talking about exactly that question. And the white paper said, how come small businesses don't hire employees? And, you know, and they looked at it from 40, I mean, it's a long paper. And they looked at it from the standpoint of, well, why don't they and who does? And, you know, they had a list by industry. They said, maybe it's by industry. No, no correlation. Maybe it's by age of the entrepreneur. No, no correlation. Maybe it's by school they went to. No correlation. Maybe it's by, you know, I mean, they tried all this stuff and they did all this research. And, you know, and they kind of left it hanging there. But their conclusion was that 78% of small businesses never hire an employee. How about that? Yeah. Well, anyway, of course, I was working on my whole thing with solopreneurs and I loved getting this paper. I felt like I'd gotten a secret document, you know, because the SBDC did not admit they had this paper. And anyway, so I could not stand it when they said that, you know, 78%. So I called up the author of the paper, you know, and I said, I can tell you why they don't hire employees. I said, why didn't you ask me? I said, they don't hire employees because the minute you hire an employee, you spend the most of your time telling people what to do and guiding them and directing them and, you know, reporting on them and recruiting them and motivating them and reviewing them and all this stuff. And you can't get your work done. And I said, people won't hire employees because they want to do what they love to do. And, you know, and the way out of this is to outsource and hire another independent contractor rather than hire an employee. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, the guy never answered me. I mean, I had dead silence on the other end of the phone. And what I said to him was, don't you think if 78% of businesses never hire an employee, that what we ought to do is teach people how to be successful as solopreneurs? No answer, no answer. But anyway, the AARP produces good numbers, and they had, and this is like 5 or 6 years ago, they had a number that said something like there were 375,000 small businesses in Oregon, and I multiplied that times 78%. And I said, and it was like something like 283,000. I said, okay, that's the solopreneurs in Oregon. I'm still a little extrapolation there, you know. So I could probably dig that up if you guys wanted to know, but I mean, that's where I got my number, because nobody will admit that this is true. Okay. Nobody will admit that people like to work as independent, you know, home-based businesses, and they're very happy that way. And they really do not want to hire employees. They want to go do what they want to do.
Well, it's not so much not hiring the employees, it's all the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hiring, like you said, they're hiring subcontractors and other independent contractors.
Right.
But that's because the rules are that you don't have to pay their FICA and their Social Security and do all the filing and taxes. I mean, yeah, it's another, you hire one employee and you have to hire another body, a second body, just to take care of that one employee.
You know, and I tell people the benefit of hiring a subcontractor is, first of all, you have them on a contract, you know, and so you're clear, you know, it forces you to be clear about what you want them to do. But I have found the people I have hired as subcontractors look at me as a beloved client. I'm sending them money. So you know what they do? They make suggestions to me. I don't know. I mean, when I had my CPA firm, I had 15 employees. They never sent me a suggestion, you know, but my contractors now do. You know, they say, I have an idea for you. Let's do this. And I say, that was good. It's a totally different relationship. Totally.
And you know, if you want to look 10 years or so ago, I think it was when Kitzhofer was governor, he sent out a small business week, and there were numbers in that quote that said 98% of businesses in Oregon are 25 or less. And of that 98%, like 92 had 5 or less employees.
Oh, yes.
And so, you know, and then if you take 78% of that, there you can get a number of
yes,
entrepreneurs.
Yes. Most people are solos, you know, and you know, particularly today with all the downsizing that has taken place, you know, and if you look at Uber and Lyft and, you know, I mean, the big, huge companies with independent contractors, even if the state of California is after them, you know, that, I mean, huge numbers of people that are solos. It's a wonderful way to be in business. Absolutely a wonderful way to be in business.
Well, Jack, maybe we can have you back in a couple of months and you can address that, what the benefits and opportunities are as a solopreneur, and addressing, I mean, probably could do one specifically targeting on how do you contract rather than getting an employee.
I would love to do that.
So
I love that. I love you guys. This is great. I think what you're doing is fabulous, and I'm glad to be part of you. And this is very fun.
Well, we really appreciate you being here as well. Thank you.
All right.
And we're glad you're healing.
Oh, me too.
Yes.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah, it takes time, but it's
well, I think about 30% of the people online right now with us are gimped in some way or another. I'm going through physical therapy as well. So
what for? Excuse me.
Ankle, shoulder, and knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, my whole right
That
side.
sounds like a legal firm.
Yeah, my left brain is not working too well because it's my entire right side has failed.
Oh no. Oh no.
Feldenkrais.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything else?
Excellent.
I just wanted to say thank you for letting me be here. I'm the executive director / owner / everything, Lady Jill of all trades for Portland Made. So nice to be in a room full of other amazing, independent, hardworking, creative individuals. So
did you talk about what you did at the beginning? Did I miss it?
Yeah, just real quick, I support local makers. So small business owners who are making products in Portland, Oregon with their hands, including, you know, eyeglasses, instruments, kombucha, whatever. And so I do networking events online and in person when possible, markets, pop-ups, provide resources, and promote the heck out of them. So
Nice.
So like I'm making a gift. I do pancake catering, and we have our own special pancake mix.
yeah.
And I'm making a pancake box for Christmas with all Northwest products.
Cool.
You know, from coffee, maker there in Tiger that makes syrup, and then my pancake mix, because I can't do any catering now.
Right.
So is that something you would promote, something like that with me, or how would you do that?
We're a membership organization, so we favor promoting our members, but then also if there are members who do, or if there are community organizers and local makers who are doing other things to support other makers, like community-minded individuals, we'll do what we can to support them. So like collaborations are great. And then we also focus on supporting BIPOC makers. So whether or not they can afford membership, we'll do what we can to get the word out about their brands.
Where do we find your gift basket, Sheldon?
Well, the website is not up yet. It's just about up. I can probably put in I'll put in the test site. You can order now. You can't send it as gift baskets yet, but I'll put in the Squarespace site that I'm in the process of making. You can go to that and look at it.
Okay.
What's up?
I would love to do that. That sounds like a wonderful gift.
I wanted to mention something quickly to Megan. I met a woman today that has a boutique on 72nd Avenue, just north of Harold. It's called Uplifted Boutique. She does consignment clothing, but also she wants to carry crafts made by local makers. She has a few things in there already, some macrame, and she's just a really neat person, like really community oriented.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Her name is Judy Martin. I'll write it in the chat.
Awesome.
Resources everywhere.
And Becky, if you just send her Megan's contact information, that would probably help.
Yeah, I can do that.
Go both ways.
Sure.
So Megan, we are open for membership if you'd like to join us for next year. Just, being the president, I gotta promote.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you.
We're $60 a year and our membership starts in January. So
We'd love to have you join us. It'd be great.
Yeah, it seems to be right down your alley, and you are
Yeah.
as well.
we might be able to do something, as you said, collaborative to, get some of your businesses noticed as well, or help them out.
Yeah. Well, so many of these, as no surprise to you, so many of these local makers are doing it all themselves. So we're all in the same family.
Mhm.
Usually there's a meal, but now during this time you got to provide your own meal.
Yeah.
Well, your recipes are terrific. So if anybody who's ever tasted your stuff is going to want to buy your package.
Well, that's my goal. That's the goal, at least. Yeah. So that's the site. You can order from it now, but it's still under construction. I still got a lot of work to do on it, but that's the site. If you want to order something and send it to somebody, you have to email me and tell me where to send it. The gift packaging stuff still isn't working.
Sounds wonderful.
I've just bookmarked your site here.
Thank you.
Certainly. I'm looking forward to having you actually cook it too. It won't be as good unless.
I guess I won't have the January meeting, will I?
Well,
No.
unless a miracle occurs in a hurry, Maybe we can have you do a cooking on our first meeting back to celebrate in person again.
Oh, wouldn't that be good?
There we go. We could do a drive-through.
Right across the lawn at Smile Station.
That's right. Drive-through. We'll give you a pancake box to go.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to next time you cook it yourself. It's great.
That it is. Well, we're sneaking up on 7:45. We usually run till 9, but we don't have to.
Oh, tired.
So Jackie, if you had anything else for anybody,
No, just,
okay.
to me, it's so important is for all of us to kind of tune in to what's happening around us,
Right.
because I'm not kidding. When I tell you I've been a business coach for like 40 years, I've worked with small businesses. I have never seen the city and the cities and the institutions be so involved in trying to make good things happen for little businesses. And, I think, wow, we should take advantage of every bit of it. And we should know about it, for the colleagues that we have who, are suffering.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people are isolated and don't keep up.
A lot
with
of people are
it.
isolated. A lot of people don't know this is happening.
Yeah.
And you may not know that they're down to their last $100, and don't know what they're going to do.
I've been there in the past.
Yeah.
I invented a
I know.
business when I was in that position.
Yeah.
Which is still going 40 years later.
Yeah.
And you weren't even a college student.
Yeah.
I would also like to add that I don't know who else is in this position except maybe Nancy and myself, but we're essentially independent contractors. So, I don't have a registered business. I just register as my name and social security number. That's my business. And yet when you reach out to these groups who are making grants, or you're talking to your bank, and you say, and I'm a business, I'm in business, but I always think, oh gosh, I don't have the kind of financials that they need to see. Everybody's very, very flexible. If you say, because for me, I can't file my taxes until I get all my forms from my clients. And a lot of times they won't do that until they do their own taxes. So even though technically I'm supposed to get those forms in January, it could well be the end of April. And if I say, well, I know I won't be able to file my taxes until a certain point, almost everybody says, just put together your P&L, very basic P&L, and some kind of light documentation, and everybody's very flexible and willing to work with the type of business that would be a freelancer or whatever. And so I just want, don't ever think that you're too small, because the banks want to help, the agencies want to help. If you call your car insurance company and you just say, what can you do for me? And, we did that, and they're sending us a rebate every month. So, just keep asking, whether it's for yourself or for your business. People are very flexible.
Isn't that great, Sandy? That's a really good statement, because as I say, I've never seen it like this. I've seen so much looking down your nose at the little business who couldn't get, their stuff together. And that right now, I hope it stays, but right now that is gone.
Right.
There is huge, huge recognition of how important this little business community is to all of us.
Yeah.
And, and people saying, what can I do?
Right.
So we can say that too, we can reach out too. So I'm ready to go get a glass of wine. I don't know about the rest of you.
Well, here's to you then.
Funny thing is, I was thinking the same thing.
Great job.
Thanks. Well, and just let me know. I will email the whole thing to you, Mark. And then if we can get it put up, that would be perfect. I will put Megan's stuff on it first and then I will get it to you. Okay? And
Can I get together with you tomorrow to kind of put something together?
let's see. I have a client at 9 and a client at 10. Can we talk at 11?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, can I just throw in one last thing?
Sure.
So I'm at the end of my contract year for all my clients except for the B, which I'm still selling ads for the December B. If anyone wants to be in our Christmas issue, the deadline's in 2 weeks. But that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is, so
I appreciate it though, that you said it.
I'm at the end of my contract year. So between now and January 4th, which is when my next deadline is for contract work, I'm available just as Sandy Hubbard. If anybody needs any marketing advice or just have me look at their 2021 plan and I can just zip over it real quick and give you some ideas. Or if you're thinking about trying some new channels and you want to know whether you think your audience is going to be responsive there, or even just I advise businesses that are in the $500 million all the way down to folks like us. So, I can bring a lot of experience from different levels of companies that we might be able to pull some ideas from, or even just make some connections for you. So feel free to reach out to me. I'm not going out, but always happy to jump on a phone call or a Zoom call, or just let me know what you need. So I'm here for you guys.
And the B appreciates it.
Thanks, Sandy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sandy.
Anybody else?
Can I go get my glass of wine?
Yep. The meeting is adjourned. You're welcome to stick around and communicate, network, whatever you'd like to do. But
bye, you guys.
I'm going to
Jackie.
Bye.
Sandy, I've got a question for you.
And
What's
thanks
that?
for coming, Megan.
Yeah, well, I would just before I dip out, because I got to put my
Yeah.
kids to bed. I just wanted to say you all might know of some empty storefronts in your neighborhood or through the business that you do. And if you see any, I am activating these storefronts for free. It's totally pro bono work. I'm just trying to get makers in front of consumers when we can't go in stores and makers don't necessarily know how to represent themselves online. So this is we're doing 3 right now, but I hope to keep on doing this throughout the year. So as especially with the B, as you're working, meeting business owners and etc. Keep that in mind.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Thanks.
Sheldon had something.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to, when everybody's done, I want to talk to Sandy. I may need to pick her brain a little bit about.
Well, it's
Hey,
yeah.
right now.
Talk to the
So-
people. Oh, sorry.
So do you? I'm going to meet somebody tomorrow, but I don't know if they're going to be able to. Do you know somebody who does printing on cloth?
Like apparel or like a burlap, or what are you thinking?
Well, it's like the Muslim type material. I have my pancake bags.
Yeah.
I can get them from Uline, but I need them printed on with a pancake, logo and directions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have a guy down in Yamhill who could do that for you, and he could also, if you've got boxes or bottles or whatever you have that you need everything to all kind of be in the same graphic family, he could do all of that stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty sure he could do that for you.
Yeah, because I have somebody designing all of that stuff now, but I just need to find stuff to print it.
Yeah, I don't know. He normally stays away from apparel because he doesn't want to compete in that market, but technically he can print on anything. So he's actually I'll send you his contact information, but you're probably interacting with him a little bit on Twitter because I'm doing his Twitter account. So
Okay.
it's Specialty Screen Printing in Yamhill.
Okay. And looks like Megan had somebody too that she recommended.
I was
So
gonna say she's probably connected to a couple of those.
yeah. Yeah, I'm finding a lot of screen printers locally don't want to print it because there's multiple
small.
colors on it. And I
Oh, yeah.
want it just to be printed rather than screen printed because it costs a lot to screen print it because they have different colors on it.
Oh, yeah, he does screen printing, so that might not be the good fit for you.
Because yeah, I don't think screen printing is the answer.
Okay.
I'm looking for somebody who has I know there's special printers out there that just print on cloth.
Yeah, you'd just you'd look for a digital printer.
Mm-hmm.
Probably somebody who,
Megan has put a printer in the chat, but she's already left, so we can't ask her. If
yeah, you'd probably look for somebody that would end up doing like a digital transfer, depending on your quantity.
Okay, yeah, let me put her.
I missed
on my
the
phone.
discussion. What is it that you're talking about having printed?
Well, I have my bags with my pancake mix in them.
Oh,
They're a Muslim bag.
uh-huh.
And I need a label on them. Rendered.
You don't want to print right on the bag?
Well, if possible, or a that didn't work. Rendered.co. Let's try that.
I wonder if you could letterpress a muslin bag.
Oh, sure. But it's the same issue. You have the same issue with multiple colors. It's going to be the same process as screen printing. You have to do one color at a time.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Transfer would, it's almost like when they print the sheet and then you iron it onto the t-shirt. So would be that technology.
Yeah, that's what I think. I get it from the pancake mix is mixed in Kansas, and she does that. She has a t-shirt press that she prints it out and then prints it and then pushes it down.
Right.
Call Gus at what's his name? Make It So. That guy, that printing broker that gave us a talk a year or so ago.
Yeah, right, Gus.
You seem to have a connection every kind of printing you might ever want, that exists on this earth, in the galaxy.
It's worth touching bases with him. Yeah, if you could.
Well, I'm going to meet somebody tomorrow, and if they can't, then I'll reach out and see if you can find. I must have missed that one.
Gus, I got his card somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be good because he's hard to find. I mean, it doesn't have a shingle out or anything, but you could probably, if you can't find the card, we could probably reach him through SMBA because he's done their printing. Also has been on their board.
Right now. I'm going to find him right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Like I said, I'll know tomorrow what I find out. But I may have Sandy. I may have you look over everything when I have everything ready to go to print and stuff, and just get your final opinion on it.
Sure.
Because I'm getting boxes. I'm probably going to get boxes printed, and so right now, if you look at that website, it's just a plain box with stuff in it, with stuff in it.
Well, that actually could go. My wife orders nuts from a place that prints weird nut stuff all over the outside, and she likes it. Just say it's a plain box with stuff in it.
Yeah.
Is that an Oregon company, Eric?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
It's nuts.com is what it is.
Okay.
Seen it on TV, but the boxes are just cartoons about nuts all the way around, and we're nuts here, stuff like that, and pictures, stick pictures and stuff like that. So she orders lots of nuts to get the boxes, I guess. I don't know.
She's nuts about the boxes.
Apparently she is. And boxes about the nuts.
And what was this guy's name from Make It So?
His name is
Yeah.
Gus. I can't think of his last name momentarily, but
Hill,
it's Gus.
Okay.
Gus Hill.
It's Gus Hill. It's
Gus-
he did a presentation on the 21st of August.
Oh yeah, I was out of town then.
Well, it never pays to miss a meeting of the AHB.
And
Right.
I had
Yeah,
Gus do one job for my nonprofit, a postcard job, and the price was really, really good. And they did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Okay.
but Sheldon, his website
Yep.
is makehouseprinting.com.
Yeah. Make it so printing.com.
Nope, it's Make House.
Make
That's
house.
why he's hard to track down.
Yep. Make House, MAKEHOUSE printing.com.
That might be are you sure? Is that Gus?
That's what the link has from the from our archive. That's where it was.
So you sent me one that says Make It So printing.
That's
it.
Yeah, no, Make House Print is a completely different thing.
it's also in Portland.
It's also a screen printing company though. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
They appear to be,
Might be able to do your job for you.
but it is officially Make It So Printing is the name of his business. But if he had a
Well,
different name on the website, that would certainly throw you off.
Okay, so we've got the wrong link on the website then, because that's where I went.
Well, that's not good.
Wow.
I looked at contact and it didn't give a name. It is a weird name, Make House. You're not making house, you're printing. I don't know.
Well, this is Portland, Eric.
I know. I completely understand.
They're young hipsters. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. I hope to have everything in place.
I wish you could put the sausage in those boxes too. You got
Yeah.
sausage.
Yeah, that's a whole nother shipping game.
I understand. From the pig to you.
Yeah. Well, I grew up on a pig farm, and my cousin is still a pig farmer, and he has really good sausage, but getting it from Kansas to here is a big challenge.
I understand. Yeah. Practically have to book them a seat on the plane to get it here.
Yeah.
well, I just
Right.
got back from Verboort 2 weekends ago, and
Wow.
luckily got a whole batch there. So it's all frozen for the next year.
Yum.
Sure you don't want to share any of it?
You know how hard it was to get this year? They were almost sold out before October even came around.
And
'cause
what
they
was
did it
that
mostly
again?
online.
What was that?
They did it mostly online, so it was almost all sold out. We had to go at 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning to get to be able to get bulk sausage.
And where is this sausage from again?
Verboort, it's out west of Portland, out just out the other side of
Mount Angel
no, west of Portland.
or west?
Newburgh, Hubbard.
No, not that quite far. It starts with a B. What's the city out there that?
Thanks.
Banks, just the other side of Banks. And they have a sausage festival every first Saturday of November.
It's Forest Grove is according to Nancy.
Yeah, close. Yeah, it's actually Verboort is the town, so it's northwest of Forest Grove and directly west of Banks. Yeah, they have a sausage festival first Saturday of every November. They sell sausage, sauerkraut. They have dinner and a beer garden and everything. and it's a fundraiser for the school, Catholic school that's there.
Mm.
Nice.
And they fund the school's entire year with a 1-day sale.
Wow. Must be really good sausage.
Yeah, it is.
What makes it so good?
Love, I think.
Sound like my mother speaking.
I don't know. I never asked them for the ingredient list, so but I've been going out there since 1983.
Wow.
So it just has good flavor.
Yeah, it's good flavor, and actually, and it stores well. It actually gets better with longer freezing. After a year or so, the flavors really intensify.
Interesting.
But they sell baked goods and pies and cookies, and they have, I mean, when they're doing it in person, they've got all kinds of games, and I mean, it's just, like I said, they don't do it just off the sausage, but they've got a beer garden, and they do sausage dinners from like 11 to 7.
Now, when you say it's a community organization. Is it the whole town? Like,
it's a church that organizes it, and it's basically the entire town that gets in on it.
okay.
They donate all the materials. They do all the the members of the church and the school get together, and they do the sale and all the production stuff mostly right there on the grounds of the Catholic church and school.
Are there a whole bunch of local sausage makers that get in on the action, or is it just one maker of sausage?
No, it's not even a maker. It's just the farm community gets together and donates all the materials, and it's all volunteers from the surrounding area that get together and make the sausage.
Cool.
And the sauerkraut.
Oh, they come together and make it together as a community project, like.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, that sounds like a fun field trip for next year.
Yeah, put it on the docket.
I would go.
Yeah, like I said, we're usually out there about 6 o'clock in the morning. We sit around for a couple hours until they open up. And It could be raining, it could be cold, it could, so it's kind of like a, game day at Oregon State, or waiting for tickets for a concert. I mean, it's the same kind of atmosphere, because you see the same people out there every year. We're all sitting out there in line, huddling on your umbrellas, or, warm coats and blankets and everything else.
When is it?
The first Saturday in November.
Wow. Now I understand the umbrellas part.
Yeah. And this year was not too bad, because we actually got to sit in the van in line. So that was much better.
That's helpful.
Yeah. So anyway.
Cool.
Any other stories of note?
No, well, I'm another story. Well, I don't know if you want more stories of note. If I'm making Thanksgiving dinners for people, and if you want to come to Clackamas and pick them up Thanksgiving morning, it will be turkey, sausage, mashed potatoes, gravy, green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, a roll, and dessert. And we're charging $15, and it'll become an individual serving, so that you don't have to, you can social distance. You can order a whole group for all in your group, and you can come pick it up at 11 o'clock and serve it at noon.
Nice.
So if anybody's interested in that, we'll have it.
That's the 26th.
Yep. Sign up by Sunday and let me know, and I can, add you to my list.
Can you go through the menu again? So it's turkey, sausage,
potatoes, green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, stuffing, cranberry sauce, a roll, and a pumpkin dessert of some kind, probably a pumpkin truffle.
Wow. That sounds like a great menu.
$15. I'm not trying to make a lot of money, just trying to help people out that need Thanksgiving dinner. If you're in the, if you want to come pick it up between 11 and noon in Clackamas, we'll be at a church there handing it out if you're interested. I need to know by Sunday.
Okay. Nice.
And like I said, it'll all come in individual servings. So if you order, let's say 5 or 6, it'll be 5 or 6 individual servings. You put it at everybody's table. Don't have to touch utensils or anything.
Perfect.
Well, what's the fun in that?
Yeah, I know. You could go to, what's her name, Tootie Smith's place.
Right.
I'm sure she'd let you come
Yeah.
if you wanted to and be part of her group.
Yeah, she'll touch your utensils for you.
Yep. And let's see what else. I'm going to be also selling some breakfast bombs is what I'm calling them. Just bacon, egg, and cheese, or meat, egg, and cheese in a breakfast bun that I'll deliver.
Nice.
So I'm pivoting.
Well, I would also like to point out that your pancake mix makes a really good, whatever the flour component would be in like a cobbler.
Yep.
So if anyone's ever experimented with your baking mixes, it is a trillion% better than using flour in a cobbler. So
Really?
I just want to
Used
say,
it for cobbler.
baking mix, it's really good.
Okay, so I'm thinking of adding a recipe to each box. So we'll add a cobbler recipe to it.
Perfect. Peach.
So send me your cobbler recipe. Do you mind, Sandy, what you did?
I can make something up. Every time I make it, I just make it different. But
well, give me an idea. I've got, send me kind of how you do it, and I'll research it a little bit.
Well, make it again, Sandy, and write it down.
That's right. That's right.
Well, what I should do is make it for everybody, and you can taste it, and then I'll make it again, and you can say, "Oh, that's better than before, or worse than before, or whatever." But yeah.
Oh, don't worry. We'll make you have it at our next meeting in person.
Okay. I'll just make like 10 different cobblers, and you can pick one.
There you go.
There we go. So that's all I'm doing.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Well, good job on the Thanksgiving dinners. That's very impressive. That's like a service to humanity.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a single pancake event scheduled, well, ever. Now, in the future, I don't have a single one scheduled forever. They've all canceled. I should have 20 between now and Christmas, and I'd have 0.
What about setting up at a one of these food parks or something, or getting
I'm not set up for that kind of thing. That's not how I'm.
I mean, I was just picturing you setting up your pancake gig on a wide sidewalk somewhere, like the street flipper, charge people as they walk by, like they sell crepes, in Paris.
Yeah, till the health department, till somebody came and said I need to buy an expensive license to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
Oh, we can go talk to Otto's Sausage Kitchen across the street. I mean, they set up out on the sidewalk most of the day. There's no reason you couldn't do it for breakfast.
Yeah,
with them. Yeah.
Sure, though.
So that way everything already, I would imagine everything is already taken care of as far as licensing and stuff.
Yeah.
We have drive-through breakfast.
Maybe you should just go rogue, like pancakes, not bombs kind of deal.
Yeah.
Our pancakes are bombs.
Hey,
right.
Quite a slogan.
That's right. So yeah, those are my challenges right now.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
You're responding well to adversity.
I say, from what I've seen of your activities, you've been doing pretty well considering everything that's going on.
Considering, yep. Well, being a solo entrepreneur really helps. I have no overhead. I don't have any employees. I don't have any retail space that I have to keep open that I'm renting or anything.
Right.
So, I'll be around when this is all over. Theoretically, I'll be around when this is over.
Nancy is asking for your phone number in the chat.
503-380-7246. That's my cell phone number. So.
Very good. Thank you.
So, yeah.
I'm counting the day. I'm counting the days till I can eat your breakfast again. That's all.
All right.
Now here's Sandy.
The other thing, Sheldon, is I met a really good PR person. So if you don't have one already, she's working with one of my clients and just doing a great job of keeping him in the news every couple months. So, for the kind of things that you've been doing, that with the wildfire and so forth, even though it's in the past, she's really good at positioning things to get the local newspapers to pick it up. So
yeah, that wildfire, that was a really good, I got a little bit of business out of that.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, if nothing else, just meet with her. She's super energetic, and I think she appreciates the connections to people that could introduce her to the next person. So even if you didn't meet her yourself, I think she'd appreciate the meeting.
Well, yeah, send us an email introduction.
Okay.
We'll have to get you together with Otto's, because I've always thought doing a morning breakfast over there would be just a great thing.
Well, I like going to eat the hot dog. Every time I'm in the area, I buy a hot dog.
Well, they'd have sausages for you, so let's set the grill up a little early.
Yep. No.
All right.
Well, I'm going to bow out for the evening.
It's about time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
A good meeting. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Okay. See you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Good night.
Night, Eric.
Good night. I hate to leave until the fun is over.